The following video will explore the self-determination theory. We will be explaining what the theory is about, give you our view and understanding of the theory, and provide examples by applying the theory to different situations. According to Courtney Ackerman, it is crucial that individuals have self-determination, as it guides our decisions and enables us to take charge in our lives. Self-determination is important for all domains of life, as it has an effect on motivation, which will be further explored in this video.
The self-determination theory is a theory that explains why certain people want to accomplish or achieve more. This theory also has to do with motivation, which includes intrinsic or extrinsic motivation, and also includes certain psychological needs such as competence, autonomy, and relatedness. This theory has a lot of positive results, such as optimal well-being, and also if this theory isn't applied in certain situations, it can also lead to decreased well-being.
According to Kendra Cherry, intrinsic needs is an important part in the self-determination theory, which includes engaging in activities for the behavior itself or for the rewards. People are directed towards growth and taking in new experiences or gaining mastery. Gaining knowledge or independence is an important autonomous motivation. Achievement of personal growth through psychological necessities doesn't happen automatically. Things such as social conditions in which one is raised is an important key. Other things which can have an effect is extrinsic motivators can sometimes lower self-determination and boost positive feedback.
The next part of the video will focus on personal views and understanding of the self-determination theory.
Self-determination is the motivation and the relatedness to human behavior that human beings have that ultimately drives an individual to progress, excel, and exceed. The theory aims to improve a healthy lifestyle and what leads to a healthy development. Self-determination theory explains an individual's growth and psychological motivation that forms the basis of self-motivation.
The self-determination theory looks at the extent to which human behavior is self-determined or self-motivated, excluding any external factors. According to Ryan and Desi, a person will look at motivational levels when making decisions or behaving in certain ways. My understanding of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation is as follows. Intrinsic motivation refers to behavior which is motivated by the fact that it is something that you want to do. This allows you to feel good and function well. For example, interest, enjoyment, and satisfaction. Extrinsic motivation refers to behavior which is motivated by external pressures or rewards. For example, external regulation, introduction, identification, and integration.
The self-determination theory states that in order for an individual to achieve personal growth, they need to meet their psychological needs, namely competence, autonomy, and relatedness. My understanding of the psychological needs are as follows. Competence refers to individuals aiming to build on their knowledge and skills. They feel the need to develop their competencies. Autonomy refers to the individuals who want to feel like they are in control of their lives. Relatedness refers to how people need people and the fact that individuals need to feel that they belong. The next part of the video will focus on exploring the self-determination theory by applying it to various scenarios.
My example is based on the upcoming movie Miss Virginia, who's an impoverished single mother who's losing her 15-year-old son to the rough streets of Washington. Miss Virginia illustrates two main components of motivation in the self-determination theory, namely the intrinsic and extrinsic motivations. And this movie has also inspired a social movement via Facebook to challenge active ongoing community participation. To outline the aspects of the self-determination theory, there are three needs which are dependent on innate psychological nutriments, which are not dependent exclusively on the learning process alone, that are actually essential for growth. These needs are dependent on competence, autonomy, and relatedness. In the case of autonomy, Ms. Ford faced many obstacles but eventually gained support from the general parent consensus in her own community. In the case of competence, Ms. Ford is challenged to gain control over her son's environment. since he faced bleak consequences. In the case of relatedness, once the achievement of success was finalized, according to Ms. Ford's personal blog, it says, due to continued support from other parents for the right to school choice, Ms. Ford continues to pursue a universal change in the current schooling system. Ms. Virginia Ford's determination, perseverance, and bravery she faced in bleak circumstances is truly an inspirational story that continues to inspire others to this very day.
My examples involve university marks and friendships. Someone who gets low marks or fails the test in university, if the person implements elements of the self-determination theory, they will acknowledge their guilt and take responsibility for their bad marks and they received for their test. They will know and admit they could have studied more, because they have an internal desire to flourish in life and not just an external desire to make other people happy. If they do not implement elements of the self-determination theory, they will not feel responsible for their bad marks and will rather put the blame on the examiner or the badly constructed test, or even a distraction from friends rather than themselves. It even comes to play in friendships. When a person realizes that he or she is just as much to blame as their friends is to blame for the problems that the friendship is experiencing, the self-determination theory is being implemented. But when a person feels that he or she is not to blame and only the other party is to blame for the problems, that there is a lack of self-determination present.
A classic example would be that from the movie 127 Hours. Based on true events, this movie allows us to understand autonomous motivation. Autonomous motivation refers to intrinsic motivation and the need to be in control of one's circumstances and situations in life. The individual thus feels self-directed. In the film, the main character, Aaron Ralston, had found himself trapped in a canyon. His arm had been stuck between a boulder and the side wall of the canyon for 6 days. The desperate 27-year-old had been caught in a dilemma. In order to save his life and to be in full control of his situation, he would have to cut off his own arm. This shows how the self-determination theory plays a role in life or death situations and how it could save a person's life. The autonomous motivation from the self-determination theory that Aaron displayed proves his will and need to be the master of his own destiny. Aaron needed to fulfill his need for competence. He was able to effectively deal and cope in his environment, despite the severity of his injuries and condition. If it were not for his own self-determination to get out of the canyon in which he was trapped, Aaron surely would not have survived. Aaron was driven by many types of motivation, which helped him to escape death.
In conclusion, it seems that the self-determination theory plays an important role in everyday life. Without self-determination, we would not be able to take control of situations or be able to make basic decisions in our lives.